Hey guys, it's Miss Delcambre. So today is February 9th, and here is a rundown of what we're doing today. All right, so you will need your notes for 13.3, multiplying and dividing inequalities with positive numbers. So please make sure you have that out, and we're going to be going over that today. So again, let's go ahead and date this to 9/2021. All right, so solving inequalities involving multiplication and division. You can use properties of inequality to solve inequalities involving multiplication and division with positive integers. All right, that's just a whole big verbiage for you to remember one thing. So with our properties, you can multiply both sides of an inequality by the same positive number, and the inequality will remain true. Okay? You can divide both sides of an inequality by the same positive number. I'm emphasizing positive here, guys, and the inequality will remain true. I want you to put a star or circle positive number or positive. I'll put a big bubble around positive because tomorrow we're going to deal with negative numbers, and there's a little hiccup. It doesn't follow the same rule as what it was doing when we were doing equations. So positive numbers are just when we're multiplying and dividing with positives with inequalities, the same rule applies, kind of like what we did with equations. Now, when we deal with negatives, there's one hiccup, and you will find out that tomorrow. So let's look at number 3. So we have 5x is greater than or equal to 100. Let me just kind of scoot that over. Okay. So if I'm looking here, this is showing multiplication. So I've got to do the opposite of multiplication to break that up. So that is division. So I'm going to come over here, and I've got to divide this by 5. But if I divide one side, I must divide to the other side. So I'm going to divide this side by 5. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1, so I'm left with x is greater than or equal to 100 divided by 5 gives me 20. One moment. Okay, let's get back to it. So looking here, our answer would be x is greater than or equal to 20. Then we need to graph it. So we're going to find where 20 is on the number line. 20 is right there. I'm going to put a circle, and it's also equal to. So that circle is going to be shaded in. So I'm looking for all numbers greater than or equal to 20. Well, greater than, I'm going to the right. So my arrow is going to the right. And you see how my arrowhead and my inequality symbol face the same direction? That's the way I know that's going in the right direction. And also another way, you can pick one of these numbers. 22 is 22 greater than or equal to 20? Yes, it is. You can even put it in the back into the inequality. 22 times 5 is what? 110, and 110 is greater than or equal to 100. So that's a quick way to check as well. Also, you can always go with your trusty 0. 0 times 5, 0. Well, 0 is not greater than or equal to 100, so you knew nothing was going to come this way. So we were going the right direction. All right, looking at number 4, z divided by 4 is less than 11. So we know that this is going to be a division problem. So we're going to break that division problem up using multiplication. So I'm multiplied by 4 on this side, and I'm multiplied by 4 on this side. So leaving me with z is less than 44. And when I graph this, I'm going to find where 44 is on my number line. I'm going to put a circle at it. I'm not shading it in because it's not equal to, and I'm looking for all numbers less than 44. So if I'm looking for less than 44, I'm going to the left. Do you see my arrowhead and my inequality symbol still go in the same direction? All right. Let's look at this word problem right quick. A paperweight must weigh less than 4 ounces. Brittany wants to make 6 paperweights using sand. Write and solve an inequality to find the possible weight of the sand she needs. So there's a key word in here, less than. So it needs to be less than 4 ounces. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my symbol down. Less than, and then 4 ounces is the maximum. Okay, she wants to make 6 paperweights. using sand, right, and solve an inequality to find the paperweights of the sand that she needs. So if we're looking at this, we're going to take our amount of sand and we're putting it into 6 groups. So it would be a division problem. So S for sand divided by 6, which represents the paperweights, needs to be less than or equal to 4. Now, how am I going to solve that? Well, I'm going to come over here, and this is my inequality. I'm going to multiply by 6 on this side, multiply by 6 on this side, leaving me with S is less than 24, and I'm going to put 24 ounces. So the sand that she's required for her paperweights needs to be less than 24 ounces. Okay? All right, let's look down here at the bottom. We're going to do this on another page, but let's look at number 10 and 11. So number 10, we have a multiplication problem, so I'm just going to write it right here. Rewrite it so I can show my work. So I have multiplication. I break that up. I get by using division. So I'm going to divide each side by 10, leaving me with x is less than or equal to 6, because 10 can go into 66 times. So I'm going to find where 6 is on the number line. I'm going to put a circle. I'm going to shade it in, and then I'm looking at all numbers less than or equal to it. So it's equal, less than, going to the left. So my arrow is going to point to the left. All right. Now the next one here is t divided by 2 is greater than 0. So I see a division problem, so I solve that by multiplying. So my number with my variable is a 2, so I need to multiply that by 2, this side by 2, multiply this side by 2, leaving me with t is greater than 0. So I find 0 on my number line. It's going to stay open, and I'm going to go to anything greater. Everything greater of 0 is to the right. And you see my inequality symbol and my arrowhead face the same direction. And you can check this by looking at a number like, say, 2. 2 divided by 2 gives me 1, which is greater than 0. So there it goes. Okay? All right, so numbers 15 through 18, we're going to write over here on this side, the other side of the page. So I have P divided by 13 is greater than or equal to 30. Okay, I'm just going to write them out going ahead. 2t is greater than 324. 12y is greater than or equal to 1. And x divided by 9.5 is less than 11. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote them out from the previous page so that we can have some space to show our work and to graph. All right, so looking here, we show a division problem, so I need to break that up by multiplying. So I'm going to multiply each side by 13, multiply each side by 13. So then I'm left with P, symbol stays the same, is less than or equal to, well, 3 times 13 gives me 39, and I add a 0 behind it, which would be 390. So then I'm going to graph this, and remember, graphing is easy. I just start off with a blank number line. So I have a blank number line. I must have 390 on it, so I'll put 390 in the middle. I always go one up and one below, so 391, 389. Okay, so I'm going to have a circle at 390. I'm shading it in because it can be equal to, and I'm looking for all numbers less than it, so I'm going to the left. Going to the left there. You see my inequality symbol and my arrowhead face the same direction when my variable comes first. My variable's on the left, it will work every single time. Okay, looking at my next one, so you have 2t is greater than 324, so 2 times what gives me something greater than 324. I need to get rid of this 2, so I divide it out. Divided 2 there, divided 2 there. I'm left with t, symbol stays, greater than. 2 can go into 3 one time with 1 remaining. 2 can go into 12 6 times, 2 can go into 4 2 times. So t is greater than 162. So I'm going to draw my number line out. Okay, I need to make sure 162 is on there. 162, I go 1 above, 1 below. Okay, I'm going to have a circle. It's going to stay open because it's not equal to, and my line is going to the right because I'm looking for all numbers greater than it. Okay, looking at my next one, 12y, it's greater than or equal to 1. So 12 times what? Well, I need to get rid of this time, so I do division. I'm going to divide by 12 on this side, divide by 12 on this side. So y is greater than or equal to, you can do this 2 ways, guys. You can make this as a decimal, or you can just keep it as a fraction because it's going to be a fraction of 1/12. If you put 1/12 as a decimal, it would be 0.083, I think. Okay, but don't worry because this suffices. So if I'm graphing this on a number line, and this is why I kept it as a fraction because it's easier to graph on a number line, like this, 1/12, 2/12, and, 0. Okay, so I'm going to find where 1/12 is. I put a circle. It's also equal to, so I shade that in. And then I'm going to the right because I'm looking for all numbers greater than it. Okay? And then the last one that we're going to do is x divided by 9.5 is less than 11. So I'm seeing division, so I get rid of division with multiplication with its opposite operation. So multiply each side by 9.5. Okay, so I'm going to come down here. 9.5 times 11. Quick little trick when you're multiplying by doubles. 1 times 95 is 95. Drop a 0 and then just copy that number one more time. Add it together. 5, 4, 10. Remember, I have one number after my decimal. So my answer needs to have one number after my decimal. So it would be x is less than 104.5. It's like a radio station. 104.5. So I'm going to draw my number line. Several different ways you can do this. I need to have 104.5. And I could just do 104 on this side, 105 on this side. You could do 104.6, 104.4. Doesn't matter as long as I have an equal spacing between them. So I have a circle. I'm not shading it in because it's not going to be equal to, and it's saying all numbers less than 104.5. So less than, I'm going to the left, and I'm drawing my arrowhead. Guys, you need to make sure you draw your arrow because it just doesn't stop right there. It continues on. It's continuous. Okay? So that does it for this lesson on our inequalities with multiplication and division. So takeaways, it's very much like solving equations, except drawing your number lines. That's the only thing that's a little different. I mean, it's just a tiny bit different. And you make sure you understand that when you see a multiplication problem, you break it up by division. When you see division problems, you break it up by multiplication. So key takeaway there. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, don't forget to message me, email, or in on the stream in Google Classroom. And I will see you later. Bye.